Thank you so much for joining us on episode number 67 of Lunch Out Loud Ottawa. My name is Nick Wachowski.
I'm Andrew Miller.
And of course, we're the podcast that talks to the people, places, events, and music that make Ottawa the incredible city that it is. And before we get to the world-class home inspector, Eric Ayotte, why don't we check this out?
Hello and hi to all you lovely listeners out there in W.Radio land. I would like to interrupt the routine and regularity of your daily lives with a message from the People's Band, the Workers' Choice, the Dancers' Answers, the Bytown's Voice. We are the Mackenzie Rhythm Section. From Elgin to the Strip, to the West Side to the Split, we send our love to those that get up, get after, and lose their shit. We here at the Mackenzie Rhythm Section would just like to wish everyone in the capital a happy end to hibernation and a happy summer of celebration. We got big dreams, secret singles, late night shows, after parties, and music videos, and a whole galaxy of up-and-comings that we would like anyone looking for a little live in their life to be a part of. So, check us out. Mackenzie Rhythm Section on Facebook. Stay up on the latest. Get the music at Bandcamp, iTunes, SoundCloud, and get on down to your nearest neighborhood compact music for your very own copy of our very own debut album, The Big Break. Most of all, tell anyone you care about right now not to miss the dance party of the year. Yes, Mackenzie Rhythm Section will be premiering at Ottawa's world-famous Blues Fest on Saturday, July 5th, and we can't wait. You are listening to The Lunch Out Loud, and we are the Mackenzie Rhythm Section. Thanks.
Yeah.
Holy jeez, that was an incredible intro.
Wow, was it ever?
That was
I like
excellent.
them.
Eric, you're going to have to, come back hard after that one.
I feel like dancing.
Yeah, the rest of the CD is awesome like that.
Yeah.
And if you see that attitude there, that translates on stage. And just them playing on the same night as Black Denim and Lady Gaga, what an incredible night that's going to be.
That is going to be a good night. I'm not a big Gaga fan, but apparently she puts on a crazy show.
It's going to be
like going to see Madonna these days, right?
It's a great show, and even if you think back to what's that, OLF or whatever, that band that did the song a couple of years ago. It was a big hit song.
No clue.
Whatever. It was. I didn't really like them, but it was just a fun time being out there. So I assume Lady Gaga will be the same thing. But Mackenzie Rhythm Section, go check them out.
So get your Blues Fest tickets for that night then, for sure.
MackenzieRhythmSection.bandcamp.com and on Facebook. So
that's the first time that we're going to be able to see them between now and then.
As of right now, yeah.
We have to wait till Blues Fest.
But if you add them on Facebook, if they do have other shows, we'll be able to see them before that as well. So, like we do every once in a while, we like to answer questions for people that are buying homes. It's a busy day, or a busy spring market right now.
Spring's finally here. The snow's melting.
The sun's shining.
Yeah.
So we're able to kick off those winter boots and start enjoying the other aspects of Ottawa when hopefully summer's soon. So we like to talk to, we've had accountants, property designers, home stagers,
legal advice from different real estate
lawyers. So we thought what a great guest to bring in would be a property inspector, because when you're buying a home or thinking of doing so,
of selling your house, obviously in spring,
it is one of the most important aspects that you should be hitting on. So thank you so much for joining us here, Eric.
Thank you. Hi.
So the snow is starting to melt. Many are buying homes. It was a long, cold winter with lots of snow. Is there many differences right off the bat that you're seeing this year as opposed to last year?
Yes, just because we had so many cold days during the winter, we do get a lot of problems with the plumbing freezing in the crawl space, basement, improperly insulated exterior walls. a lot of the snow is starting to cause a lot of water damage into the basement right now because it has to go somewhere. It's melting. We're having a lot of calls actually lately for people calling us. They don't know where to start. There's water in the basement. They don't know where to look. And it can come from pretty much anywhere, from the roof, from the foundation, from windows. It's one of the main problems that we're seeing after this long winter. And even during the winter, we saw a lot of problems condensation-wise because it was long. We had a lot of really cold days, and not well-insulated houses are having problems where air leakage is causing condensation in the walls. And then when it starts melting, you get this water on the floor, and you can't explain where it's coming from.
Yeah, there's no plumbing anywhere, and you're just kind of baffled, eh?
Exactly, and it's most likely because it's having problems with condensation, misplaced insulation, and then it just freezes up, and as soon as you get a little nice hot weather, it starts melting, and you get a little pool of water.
So what are some preventative measures that people should be doing right now, or that you're seeing that will solve this right now?
Well, right now is to try, if you see any deficiencies around your house, cracks or whatever, negative slopes, and you see puddles of water staggering around your foundation, is to try to drain it as quickly as possible so that you don't have a pool of water sitting right next to your foundation.
So break apart the ice so it can...
So to be able to drain the water away from the house, and do little trenches in the ice to break the ice apart so the water drains. And you're not going to shovel your roof at this time of the year because it's most likely almost melted out. Yeah. But it's a good thing maybe to check in the attic to see if there's any spots where you can see humidity coming in from the roof.
Well, and that was something else that has been pretty big over the last couple of years. I noticed it more is ice damming on roofs. Exactly. Because of the amount of snow that we've been getting. You get tons of snow, and then we get a warm spell, so it starts to melt, and then a flash freeze. Yeah. Can you explain what ice damming is to some other people, just in case they don't know?
Exactly. When the ice damming is basically when you're getting melting, and you can get it on some of the newer homes, and even most likely you'll get it on older home because it's not as well insulated and ventilated. So you get the quick thaw, it starts melting, and then it freezes quickly. And you get it a lot on older homes where you have improper insulation and you got a lot of heat loss. So it melts where you have less insulation, and it freezes back when you get to the bottom of the wall where it's actually frozen. Yeah. And the problem with that is it actually keeps the water on the roof, and then the water will go through underneath the shingles, and then it leaks inside the house. So again, usually adding insulation, increasing ventilation will help, and sometimes in different types of roof architecture, some spot is really hard to ventilate properly, and last resort is basically putting heat cables on the roof to try and remove the ice from there. But it's a last resort. You try to do everything.
Well, that's good. I like that you said last resort, because I've heard a lot of people put those up right away. And I've also heard that it's not a great thing to put the heat cables up there because they can actually cook your shingles as well, right?
Exactly. It'll deteriorate your shingles quicker, and that way your roof won't last as long. But that's why we say you try to increase ventilation, make sure you have proper insulation. But some roof designs are not meant well to have proper flow of the water that drips down to the roof, and it causes ice damming. Especially on the Quebec side, because they have the firewall, which now has to be blocked all to the roof, and that is a big heat source going through the attic, and it causes, even on newer homes, a lot of ice damming. Yeah. And they've tried adding insulation. Sometimes they can re-insulate because they don't insulate properly around the firewall, so that can be a cause. But sometimes even doing all the regulation, doing everything that needs to be done, you still get some ice damming, and then sort of a last resort is you put the heat cables. Your roof's not going to last as long, but at least you won't get any ice damage, water damage inside your property.
Yes. Does that break warranty if you put the...
Probably does break warranty because they don't recommend. It's not recommended anywhere to
What advancements in installation have you been seeing in the past 5-10 years?
Installation?
Yeah.
Well, the code has brought it up to about our 15-inch R50 in the attics. And
that's 15 inches of insulation is approximately R50?
Yeah, approximately.
And when was that put in place?
I know the new code that just came out, they added a chapter for insulation for the National Canadian Code, and to increase the R value to 15 inch, to increase insulation, to just make out the houses more energy efficient. Okay. And again, you have to be careful when you insulate, because you don't want to block any ventilation in your attic, because that can cause also problems. So before adding insulation, you have to make sure you have proper venting on the soffits and at the rooftop, so that you have good airflow.
Yeah,
so you can. They also some types of more fancy homes, they'll use polyurethane in the attic, but you rarely see it. You'll see it mostly around foundation walls.
So if people from that bought homes 20 years ago might be a good upgrade to start looking at refitting the home with insulation?
Exactly, yes. And it all depends. Like some older homes where they have living spaces in the attic, those are a bit hard to insulate. The cathedral section is really hard to insulate unless you backfill the wall and give you more airspace. But usually houses that are about 20 years old, you can retrofit easily by adding more insulation and just making sure that you don't block the soffits. Usually the roof from 20 years ago, you have a good pitch, it's easy access in the roof, so it's a pretty easy job to do.
And these are things that people should really start thinking of, right? With the expected increase in hydro costs, it's supposed to go up 47% over the next 5 years. They've announced a pretty big increase in natural gas prices, so that's going to be boosting up. I don't have propane, but I've heard friends in the country that propane was very expensive this winter as well. So, I mean, this is obviously something people are going to have to start tackling in order to keep their costs low, right?
Exactly.
So, like you get your oil changed on a car every 6 months or 3 months, when should people be coming to a home inspector to just take a look at the house and go, how are we doing now? What can I do to prevent further damage in the future? Because it's a great preventative measure that I am sure a lot of people would not think of paying the service of a home inspector for.
Well, if they do it on a regular basis, they can do it probably every 3 to 5 years if they lived in the house for a long time. And as we go through, we'll check off all the maintenance that needs to be done, the corrections. And if they actually do the corrections that we mentioned, then usually the lifespan of stuff doesn't happen overnight. Like a roof, 1 year is not going to be good, and the next year it has to be changed immediately. So they'll deteriorate gradually over time. So if you do 3 to 5 years is a good time to.
So what you're saying, pretty much, there should be some sort of seasonal checklist sort of thing that people can do, right?
Yes, exactly.
So what would you recommend that people are doing in spring for their maintenance of their home then?
Well, spring is you're basically cleaning up a bit of the yard. You go through. You have to make sure your air conditioning outside is free of any debris. Mm-hmm. You're going to start it up. You're going to start opening up your windows.
How early should you test out the AC, even if it's not hot?
You have to wait for a couple of days.
Okay. You need at least a good 10-15 degrees outside to test it out. Okay. But you can start cleaning it up. You basically do a walk around your house to see if there's any damage that appeared over the winter. A good thing is to clear up the soil, make sure you don't have any negative slope that created around your house so that water pools there. Check the caulking around door, windows. You can, if you can,
and that's a good one, I think, too. Caulking that people usually leave and never think about it again once they do it once, right?
They think it's a lifetime deal. And
yeah. What's the average lifespan of most caulking? 3 to 5 years or so, or?
Yeah. Well, they recommend checking it every year. Just have a quick look, because sometimes they'll start cracking. Yeah. But usually there's a good, if it's been done properly, usually around 10 years it can last. But it's always good to go around the house, because sometimes it'll be just someplace it unsticks from the window frame or something, and then you have a place where water can get in, airflow can go through. So
well, and the airflow is a big one, right? I mean, I know that you are capable of doing an energy audit pretty much. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but I know that the results of most of them, if your caulking is out of place, you have about the size of a football hole in the side of your house, really, if you add it all up, right?
Exactly.
These little things all add up. So
wow.
Exactly.
Wow. What are some of the biggest shocks people have when you tell them about the state of their house? Well, what are some of the most common shocks?
People don't expect what we're going to say. Most people live in their house. It's a place where They live, they sleep, they eat, but they don't pay attention to the details that we will. They don't go in the attic. They don't go on their roof. They don't walk around slowly towards the house and look at every detail that can cause any problems. And in our field of work, we have to tell them what is a problem and what can cause also a problem. And a lot of problems with foundation can start just as a small crack and never have a problem. And the next year, you get a good rainfall, and then the crack can start leaking at any moment. And there's no way to predict which is going to leak and which is not going to leak. So, and people tend to have a fuss when they're trying to sell their house, and you're telling them, well, there's a few cracks in their foundation, and it's not that expensive. It's a preventive maintenance, and you're avoiding $15,000 of damage of water in your basement, and it's going to cost you maybe less than $1,000 to fix any cracks in your foundation. So it's a preventive maintenance, and people sometimes are shocked because they don't know, they're not familiar with construction renovation. So sometimes we go in the attic and there's major damage, and they were not aware. Either their inspector didn't go in the attic when they bought the house, so they didn't get all the details. And as we go in, we snoop around the house. We try and our role is to try and actually give the state of the house, and by doing that, we're trying to see if there's any problems. So we're looking everywhere. We're opening cupboard doors. So sometimes we look at it a different eye as the people that are actually living in the house.
Yeah, for sure.
So some people are shocked and that they weren't aware that they had many problems. I even had a house, and I don't know how it passed an inspection, but the house was crooked. The footings were broken, and she wanted to sell the house to her son, and her son called me up and said, well, I just want to know general condition. And when we went in the crawl space, it was in really bad condition, and the lady started crying. She wasn't aware about all of this information. So
it's tough. It's definitely tough. So is that something? It's becoming a bit more popular now for people to do pre-inspections. If they're thinking of selling your home, it's probably a good idea to give you a call. And do this once over before the buyer does, right?
Exactly. It's a good thing, because that way you can either fix the problem early on the road and not have to wait till negotiation and somebody boosts the price up by an extra couple grand just to try and shave off the price of the house. So if you know you can fix most of it, and if you're aware of some of the stuff, you can ideally just get some estimates too on how much it's going to cost. At least you're aware of the problems. You're aware of how much it's going to cost, what the remedy is to fix it, so that way you come prepared when it's time to sell your house. You don't have to fix everything, but at least you'll know what the next inspector who's going to come is going to tell you.
Absolutely.
Is the cost of a pre-inspection pretty much the same as a normal
It
home
all
inspection?
depends. In the pre-inspection, we'll get some clients that they basically just they don't want to report. They just want to see, tell me what's wrong with my house. I'll fix it up. It'll be ready for sale. And then if we don't need to do a report, for us it's less time, so we obviously we can shave on the price. And sometimes what we'll do is, if we do like the pre-inspection and then we do the inspection of their new homes, then we'll give a rebate on the second inspection that they do. So
what's the best number to contact you at?
819-210-6073. That's the best number, and I've got a toll-free number that I don't know by heart. It's 1-844-4 emo-check.
So
but it's on my website. So.
All right.
Okay. Sorry, what's your website address?
www.imo-check.ca.
Perfect. So we'll be right back with Eric Ayotte, and we're going to talk about first-time homebuyers process, new technologies, and energy efficiency.
Yep.
But first, we'll listen to one more song from the Mackenzie Rhythm Section. This is She Got Love off their debut album. And then we're going to join Don Chow and Foodie Prince to talk about Pancake Shack. Have you been there yet?
I haven't been there yet.
Well, we'll go maybe tonight.
My pregnant wife has been craving pancakes like crazy, though.
We'll take her this weekend.
Perfect.
All right, we'll be right back. All right, thank you so much, Don. Pancake Shack sounds delicious.
Thanks, Nick.
All right, Jen. I'm craving pancakes.
Uh, Pancakes? Like pancakes right now?
Yes, pancakes right now.
Um, okay, well, I can make you some pancakes in a few minutes, but how about to celebrate the arrival of spring and finally some warm weather and sunshine?
Yay.
Let's do our first food truck review of 2014.
We're talking pancakes, and we're talking food trucks. We're talking flapjacks, aren't we?
Yes, we are. It's actually Flapjack's Pancake Shack. It's located at 809 Bank Street, right behind where the French Baker and Lost Marbles stores are.
Yeah, there's a bit of a courtyard behind those stores. The backstop is a couple of condos, and then the two buildings on the left-hand side, when you face the food truck, on the left-hand side, there's the French Baker. On the right-hand side, there's a mural with Russian dolls, and above it, there's this large poster. There's this big burly man. He's got an axe. He's got his bicep showing, a tattoo. On that tattoo is a spatula. That's Flapjack. And if you walk down that corridor into the courtyard, you're going to see the truck. You're going to see an eating area with a picnic table and a couple of deuces. The deuces look like tree stumps. It's meant to mimic a sugar shack.
So, Ottawa, if pancakes and breakfast at any time of the day is your thing, then Flapjacks is the place for you. From Monday to Fridays, it's open at 9 a.m. until 5:30 p.m., or if it's more of a weekend thing for you, then Saturdays and Sundays, it's open from 9:30 a.m. till 5:30 p.m.
And when it comes to the pancakes, you can get them your way. There's 30 options and toppings and fillings, and
Yum.
what the owners want is for you to be able to customize your pancake experience. So when you order stacks, you can order between 2 and 6, 2 being a snack, 6 being a meal, and you can choose between a buttermilk batter, a whole wheat batter, or a gluten-free oatmeal batter, which honestly doesn't taste like it's gluten-free. It's just as good as the gluten options. The options afterwards are fillings. You can get bacon, you can get crushed nuts, you can get fruit, you can get chocolate chips. Completely up to you. Then you can have toppings. Everything's 75 cents each. You can get whipped cream, chocolate sauce, caramel sauce, honey. The pancakes themselves, the stacks always come with Quebec maple syrup on the side, and you can get cinnamon sprinkles and a little bit extra butter gratis. That said, Jen and I have been to Flapjack Pancake Shack a number of times since its opening in December, and we highly recommend this place. And what is your favorite?
Well, I ordered a number of things already, but I think my favorite one is the Big Joe. It's $7.99. It's it's like a really big sandwich. It's 3 pancakes, 2 eggs, 2 slices of processed cheddar cheese, and 2 rashers of bacon, and pour the maple syrup, and it is the best breakfast sandwich ever. How about you, Don?
Me, I'm a classicist when it comes to pancakes. I like a nice banana pancake, and these guys do it right. The pancakes themselves, they bake up tall, fluffy, light, and inside, banana is molten. So when you bite into it, you get it's a little bit of soft banana. It's all cooked. There's no raw banana when you serve your pancakes. A little bit of maple syrup, a little bit of butter. It's heaven for me.
So, Ottawa, what are you waiting for? Get yourselves to Flapjack's Pancake Shack this weekend.
Thank you so much, Don. Pancake Shack sounds delicious. They were open a lot during the winter, but they couldn't be open when it was minus 40 out. So I went there when it was minus 40. They were closed. So I'll have to try again. In this nice weather, it's an excellent place. All right, so Eric, you do a lot of work with first-time home buyers. What is their or not even first-time home buyers, any buyers that are buying their home? What is the process for them? What can they can they expect if they're dealing with you? Prices, procedure, that sort of thing.
Well, actually, when they first call us, we sort of explain a bit the procedure. We try and ask them where they're coming from, get some information, what type of property that they're looking at buying, and we're trying to get as much information from the property that they know, so we can expect what we're going to see during the inspection. And then we send them beforehand while we're having a conversation. We'll explain prices to them, and a regular house is roughly around $400, depending on the size. It can change, but the rough estimate is about $400. And we accept Visa, MasterCard, Interact just to help out the new home buyers, because it makes it a bit easier to for payment-wise. And we send our contracts ahead of time by email when we get all their information, so that way they can take the time at home to read up on our contract to make sure that they understand and they approve of what we're going to do during the inspection. And at least they're not stressed while we're doing the inspection to read a contract. And we invite the customers, first-time buyers, anybody to come and join us while we're doing the inspection, because it's actually the time to ask questions about the house.
Yeah, for sure. All about your house,
and figure out how things work, what needs maintenance, what to check yearly, and even concerns that they might have. We'll be glad to help out. And even if they have family, friends. We're not having a party, but if they can bring a few people along and ask questions, or parents or family members, there's no problem.
Well, they're very informative. I mean, I've been on hundreds of home inspections, and I learn something new almost every time. I think it's really important for people to know that not every house is the same.
Exactly.
Every house has its issues, even brand new homes.
Exactly.
Now, one thing also that a lot of people don't know is that home inspectors as a trade right now, there's no provincial regulations or licensing to be a home inspector. So anybody technically could be a home inspector.
Exactly.
Do you want to talk a little bit about that? There are some certifications out there that you can get.
Exactly. So you can, one of the main in Ottawa region is OHI, or Ontario, and it's the Ottawa Home Inspection Association. And they go through a process. If you want to go become a member, you have to get some minimum education done. And then they do peer reviews, and you have to send a report. They'll send you on with somebody that's a RHI member, a registered home inspector, which is basically the top level. That means that they've completed a minimum of 250 paid inspections.
Wow.
And that they've gone through all the reviews, and they've passed all the minimum criteria for education-wise. And even once you're a registered member, you have to still do require a minimum of 20 hours of training every year to keep updated on the technologies. Anything that has related to the building is a good training for that. And there's also on the Quebec side, there's a multiple association. There's a IEBQ, which is the Quebec version of OHI. There's we're also part of engineering technologist order on the Quebec side, and that you need to have at least a college degree in building science.
Wow!
And then plus you have to have training in home inspection too.
Well, that's good. So they're on the right step, and I know I've heard people talking about it that they might make it.
Exactly. Right now there's all these association and the professional association too, but nothing regulates. Like you said, anybody can say, okay, I'm printing business card to be a home inspector, and I'm publicized, and I'm a certified home inspector.
So do your research, people.
Exactly. Do your research before you hire anybody.
And the most common questions of first-time home buyers that you get?
Most buyers are pretty stressed out. It's new homes, and the thing they're most first-time home buyers, they think a house is no work and that it has to be perfect, and it's not the case, because most house, pretty much 99.9% of the house have something that needs fixing, and the house is continuous work. You need there's a 0.5 to 1% of your actual paid price that you actually need to invest in your home yearly. Yes, new homes you don't put as much money, but 20 years down the road you're going to fork out a lot more money, because windows, furnace, air conditioning, everything's going to be at their age where it's starting to deteriorate. So some of the questions, it's basically to explain them what to expect when they're buying a house. There's not a perfect house on the market.
And I guess you possibly give them guidance on if they're going to do retrofits or renovations, what to do first and what to jump on.
We'll guide them in our report what's the most important things to do and what are the things that are going to cost them the most when they do it. Sort of a three grade of problems. Some are more maintenance wise, some are it's not urgent, but you want to get it fixed before it deteriorates too much, and the other one is get it fixed now, or even it's deteriorating, but it's going to cost you a fortune to fix it when it's gone 2-3 years down the road. So we try and guide them and we also explain some of the problems which are common in the house, so that I said even if you don't choose the house because you're scared of a bit of maintenance, well,
it's going to be the same in the next one. Yeah.
Exactly, and some people are looking at certain budget, and certain budget you only get a house which has a lot of problems. So you have to be expected to, depending on what they're looking at, and we try to inform them, educate them on what they're buying.
What are some of the things? I know that technology, even for the home inspector, is starting to change a little bit. What are some of the tools that you use that some home inspectors still don't have? I know a lot of them are quite pricey.
Yeah, exactly.
What are some of the technological advanced tools that you got?
We use thermal imaging cameras. Basically, what thermal imaging is, they call it also infrared. It's basically a camera that reads the temperature signatures on the material, which it indicates heat loss. You can see water damage because the water will change the properties of the material. You can see electrical failures. But again, these are all equipment that ideally you need to have the proper training before you use them, because there's limitation to this equipment. What you see on one day can be different on the second day due to the sun, the wind, the temperature on the outside. So there's a lot of equipment. We use also moisture detectors to be able to actually verify if we do see moisture in the walls, detect them. We have different models, some that we can do through EFIS because it's different thickness, or we can do a roof inspection. We also have a ventilation door if you want to do an energy audit of your property to see where your air leakage is coming through. So if you want to improve your air quality in the house.
You guys got it all.
So it takes about 2-3 hours for every inspection?
Exactly. And then inspection, and after that, in the next 24 hours, you basically get a full written report, usually between 50 pages of all the details, photos of the property. We take usually photos of each room in the property in the building, so that you can identify yourself, recognize yourself when we're talking. Let's say we found an issue in one room, so at least you know which room we're talking about. And we take pictures of all the deficiencies that we'll find in the house.
Because you cover a lot of info, right? So it's a lot to take in for just 2 or 3 hours.
Exactly. They can't remember everything. And even for us at the end, we try to do a small resume, but sometimes we can miss some of the stuff that we've seen, but we take notes and photos of everything. So that's why we always say it's a good thing to go over the report and actually read it carefully, so that you're aware of everything. Some small stuff, some is more urgent stuff. So.
Well, thank you so much. It was a pleasure having you on at this time. I think that will help a lot of people. And I know we'll be sharing this with a lot of people.
Absolutely. So buyers out there, make sure you get a good inspector. Eric is the best. And also pre-inspections for sellers, good idea to do. Save yourself a lot of hassle and people grinding down your price after the fact. So
you know it. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next week is going to be an awesome week. We have Janik Alford from Prototype D.
Hey,
so Prototype D is an awesome architectural firm in Ottawa, like cutting edge.
Yeah.
They're going to be doing the Innovation Center in Bayview.
Oh, sweet.
And they've done a bunch of other great stuff in the
city.
I'm excited.
Ottawa's starting to get a lot better architecture going on.
And this company is going to be leading, one of the leaders in this, so it'll be a lot of fun having him on.
No longer a boring looking city too, right?
No, we want to cut that. Any events going on this weekend? That you're taking your kids to the EY Center for kids, the children's thing.
Yeah, we got Kids Fest Ottawa.
Kids Fest Ottawa.
Yeah, April 5th. Exactly. There's a ton at the EY Center. Let's just rip through
it. There's 3 things.
Well, it's enough.
4 things.
It's a ton for one center.
I meant that.
The Ottawa Antique Show is at Carleton University, though. That's tonight, April 4th and 5th.
Tonight you got Recipes for Success at St. Anthony's Hall from Live Work Play from guests a couple weeks ago. So $30, doors at 6 p.m. Tomorrow you got Wood and Sky and Dusted playing at Ritual, so those are great bands. You also have Frenzy, Hip Hop Karaoke at Ritual. Saturday, Sound of Lions and Flying Horses at Zayfods. So Flying Horses have been on the show. Sound of Lions will be possibly even next week.
Well,
Let's make it next week. Sound of Lions.
There you go. Sound of Lions next week.
The Ottawa Travel Vacation Show at the Convention Center. And it's a huge burlesque weekend. This city's getting huge on burlesque. Yeah, there's events at
for such a government town. We
Maxwell's, Glebe Community Center. So there is a lot going on.
Closet freaks in Ottawa.
Anything else you got, Miller?
Well, after the burlesque show, you might want to hit up the Ottawa Wedding Show. That's April 5th and the 6th at the EY Center.
They go right.
There's also, I know they do. 3rd to the 6th at the EY Center is the Ottawa Spring Craft Sale. Like we said, the Kids Fest is there as well from the 5th and the 6th. If you're, me and my snowboarding, if you're looking for the best snowboard competition in Canada, pretty much.
It is?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's one of the biggest. Ride shakedowns at Mont Saint-Sever.
That'll be a great week. Hopefully it's not too much rain, eh?
No, well, the season we've been having, it should be fantastic. I mean, it's been raining there years and years.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. And they still have it. Sebastian Touton is a local there. He was in the Olympics. He'll be there again this year.
Really?
Yeah. I'm not positive if many of the other Olympians will be there or not. They used to always be. Whether or not they'll be there this year, I don't know.
Who knows?
Everybody's touring now and
Who knows?
traveling all over. So.
All right, we got one last song from Mackenzie Rhythm Section. Before we leave you, this song's called Farsight, so MackenzieRhythmSection.bandcamp.com. Thank you so much, guys, for that intro. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Great episode. Thank you so much, Eric.
Thanks, Eric. Lots of information for people there.
Share this on Facebook. Tell your friends. Like us on iTunes. Write reviews. Help us out. Help you out. Have a great weekend, everyone. Bye-bye.